Good range of nations. Let's meet them individually. Start off from Poland with Andrzej Jezutek. Next, it's Oliver Dingley representing Ireland. Garcia Boissier of Spain. Gendard represents France. Vinko Palajic giving Sweden a representative here. He had a very good morning. Nikita Schleicher, experienced young diver, enjoys the platform as well as the springboard. Here comes the big cheer. James Heatley from Edinburgh. I quite like him round here. Lorenzo Marsaglia from Italy. He has his teammate and countryman Giovanni Tocci for company as well. Switzerland had an excellent morning. They've got Guillaume Dutoit, who finished third this morning. And they have Jonathan Suko as well, who finished out second. But the man they are all very definitely chasing is one of the stars of the championships in the pool. It's Great Britain's Jack Law, an Olympic gold medalist in the synchro, and a man who looks totally on a mission here. They must go behind scenes and just get to their appointed seat where they can go and just relax. It was a long wait, 20 to 25 minutes between dives in the preliminary. This will be significantly less, nearer 10. Works out about 45 seconds a dive. Some of the Benjamin Offray having a cup of tea there, one of the French 10-metre specialists. Here to give Alexis Gendard his support. Just have a check here on the judges for this one. 7 judges. Top 2, bottom 2 marks are knocked out. Remember, we use the middle 3 to make it as equitable as possible. Had a change of panel during this morning because it was such a long shift for the judges. Need to keep the concentration absolutely spot on. Not perfect collar and tie weather in this swimming pool, but they do look very smart. End up with a good selection of shirts and ties and polos with all the different competitions on them, so you're right, it's warm work. Right, let's get this show on the road then. This is the dive order in reverse from how the top 12 finished this morning. A little more than 2 hours the break. Two Brits, two Swiss, two Italians. Russia, France, Spain, Ireland, Poland, Sweden as well. Really good to see other countries getting a shout here. Competition will move along. Just a couple of steps up onto that 1 metre board rather than the big climb up onto the platform. Andrzej Rzeszutek from Poland is ready to lead us into battle. Here we go then, Andrzej Rzeszutek, his first to dive in the final of the 1 metre springboard for men. 12 competitors, 6 rounds. First inward flying, a 1.5 somersault pint is a 2.9 dive. Inward dive gives Rzeszutek a chance to get a feel of the board in the competitive spotlight. Going to be pleased to make the final. He's twice been to the 1 metre final of the World Championships. 59.45. Okay start.
Representing Ireland, Oliver Dingley, back 2.5 somersaults with turn.
Oliver Dingley carries the Irish tricolour, having switched to Ireland, for whom he qualifies through his grandmother. He opens with the back 2.5 somersaults tucked. Very compact diver. Very often on his own at these competitions. We had Jack French from to accompany his teammate this morning. Good height he gets. There, 2.7s in a 6.5, 61.50. That's him off and running. Spain have Nicolas Garcia Boissier in the final. 23 years of age, his 5th European Championships. Back 1.5 somersault pint, got a 2.3. Reasonable range of dives in terms of degree of difficulty over the competitors. 2.3 is pretty well the lowest. Some 3.4s creeping in there, Jack Law and James Heatley. 48.30. A big total, where the individual marks weren't too bad. Alexis Gendard, the younger of the 2 French divers who made it through to the final. 21 years of age, in with 2.5 somersaults tucked. The French contingent you will have gathered.
6, 7, 6, 6.
Really got to get through those rotations quickly and leave yourself some time and room to put yourself into a good entry position. Gendard on the 6s. Would like to raise that, I'm sure. Big thing to do is to not completely blow a dive. A below par 1 is recoverable. Complete nightmare, well, that takes a lot more recovering from. Good to see Sweden with a diver in the final here. Vinko Paradžić. Want to get the sport spread and encouraged and thriving in as many countries as possible. That's what, in some ways, these big festivals of sport are about. And with 2.5 somersault tucked. And he dives right across the full range, team, platform, synchro. It's his 6th European Championship, so he knows the drill here. It's a pretty decently worked dive, that. He's best on the entry position. That's the best so far with 65.10. Nikita Schleicher from Russia, 20 years of age. Bit of a whiz on the platform as well, right down at 1 metre here. 2.5 somersault tucked as well, that 3.1 dive. Same as Radzik. Nice entry, that, very tight in his rotations. And he came to prominence at the European Games in Baku, which was a junior event in the diving, and he got gold in the inaugural 1 metre springboard event. And he's gone off to a good start there with an 8 in his score, 69.75. 8s have been a bit thin on the ground so far. The man with all the support, but that of course brings the pressure and the expectation to 21-year-old James Heatley from a bit of a diving dynasty. Reverse 1.5 somersault, 2.5 twists. Interesting opening choice. Only diver choosing that one to begin with. It's looking a decent choice at the moment. Good height off the board, strong physique. All the power in the legs that you need, and the core to get that height off the board. 63, and he strides away with increased sense of purpose.
Representing Italy,
Lorenzo Alsalia from Italy. First time diving as an individual event at a World Championships was in 2017. He had a good morning and he's carried on. He was in the synchro competition 12 months ago here, 5th in that, but he's flying solo here. 69.75 is a good start. The slightly more experienced of the two Italian divers, Giovanni Tocci, sorry. Already competed in the team event yesterday. And he's looking to get the max off the board there, got a good height in his first leap. Right up, tight pike. The more you can hold that strong line all the way through the dive in the water, keep it going. The classier the dive looks. 58.50 is not quite as good as you'd have wanted.
Representing Switzerland,
Guillaume Dutoit, first of the two Swiss divers, 22 years of age. 6th at 1 metre in last year's European Championships. And 6th as well in the 3 metre synchro. In with 2.5 somersault tucked. Well, that lady had a very encouraging morning with 2 of her charges making their way into the final, and that's tidy. By diving standards, he's tall, which means when you get it right, you get a really good, impressive line into the water. 68.20. And he's Jonathan Suko, second Swiss diver. He'd be delighted to be in this competition. It's his 3rd European Championships. He didn't make either 1 metre or 3 metre final last year, but he's already showing improvement then. He's just 19. Back 1.5 somersault piked. It's a rather more modest 2.3. Execution needs to be really sharp. That kinetic tape on the back which just supports the muscles and the fascia under the skin, so a bit of confidence perhaps. 48.30, that wasn't really up to this morning's standards. Talking of standards, Jack Law is the big star in these championships. 3 meter synchro gold medalist from Rio and a silver medalist in the individual competition. He's got the back 2.5 somersaults, tuck 3.0. He was immaculate this morning. Looking pretty well ironed in that opening dive as well. Good thing about the divers looking around there is that they all appreciate the talent when they see it. Great height off the board there, power packed. 69 at 8.75. Good, solid, strong start. But it's Marsalia who's gone into the lead just by 0.75, with Schleicher, Jack Law in 3rd place. Good start by Dutoit and Paracic. 3.10 back there. Very early stages. You don't get a second chance at a first impression, so if they can get off to a good start in the competition, it's a real settler to the nerves. Nice snappy competition. Round 2. Andrei Sheshutek in with 2.5 somersault piked. Twelfth after the preliminary, to 8th after the first round. Remember, the scores don't carry on at all. Start from scratch again. 59.45 with his opening dive. To 3.4 that one. There's plenty on it. And he's got 66.30, although the marks were down in the 6.5, so bigger score, not quite such good execution. Oliver Dingley keeps his big dive back. This is a 3.0. Reverse 2.5 somersault tucked. Not wishing to pun, he was a little up and down on the board this morning. Had a couple of 40s in there. This was one of his better dives. That looks a much better execution than he was managing this morning, and that's a 66, which is a steady away score, certainly something to build on. Nicolas Garcia-Boissier. Forward 3.5 somersault tucked. Could have done with being a little bit more vertical on his entry position, but it was clean enough. Can be clean even if there's slight curvature in the entry position. And you can see that the body underneath the water was just pulling parallel rather than keeping upright all the way through the full extension of his body. 58.50. I'd be pleased to be here though. Alexis Gendard The diver who made his first international impression at the 2015 European Games. 4 3.5 somersault tucked here. That's a very high energy, quick spinning tuck there, which took a little bit of controlling, flung himself into it. Just lost a little bit of shape as he was looking to enter the water there. 58.50. Carrying on from where he left off this morning is Vinko Paradcik. Competed yesterday when Sweden were in the team event. Finished 7th out of the 7 with Ellen Ek. Looks as though it's been a good warm-up for him. 3.5 somersaults here. Getting that tuck, but he's completely collapsed out of it. He just never got anywhere near a respectable entry position. A little bit wild here. Couldn't control those spins, and you can see there was no real form when it came to the entry. Shame, because he's really looked good, and that 27 is a big blot on his copy record. Nikita Schleicher opened in style. 20-year-old who lives in Kazan, the self-styled capital of Russian sport. 4 3.5 somersault tucked. Moved there to be at the Olympic College. Again, he didn't find it too easy to stop the rotations, but made it look rather more convincing in terms of the entry, but it was still a bit wild, and you can see that wasn't the shape he was supposed to be out of it by then. He came up short, and it was an untidy finish. The second round this morning was the one where they all seemed to lose their way a bit and then get it back. So it's all about consistency right through the programme. James Heatley from Great Britain, the local boy. Bronze at 1 metre in the recent Commonwealth Games in Australia's Gold Coast. That reverse 2.5 there with the tuck position. Big leap again. Posing position on entry. 66. Strong dive again. Lorenzo Marsaglia. Jointly in the lead with his opening dive. 4 3.5 somersault tucked. This competition is hotting up. That would suggest she's quite pleased with it. Great height, look how quickly he's through his rotations, and I do like it's a really nice entry position. Smiling, he knows it's good, it's into the 70s, straight 8s for 72, that's an excellent dive. Well done, mate, thinks his countryman Giovanni Tocci. He's got a 4 2.5 somersault, 1 twist pint. This is a 3.2, as big as he gets. Former European junior champion at 1 metre and 3 metre. Twice he got gold in the juniors, 2011 and 2012 at this height, so it's one he's comfortable in, the likes. Well, the judges, they like that dive, 67.20, they thought it was pretty decent. If you get into that 70s, that's what really boosts the score. Guillaume Dutoit from Switzerland, 4th, 4 2.5 somersault piked. just 2.6. Looked a clean job. Again, getting through his rotations quickly and the entry position. .57.20. Just a little bit below what he wanted, but with a 2.6 tariff, decent execution. This is 3.1, this in the 2.5 somersault. Tucked for Jonathan Suko. Didn't have a great opening dive. Much better. It's more like it. Really worked hard at holding his entry line with his legs there, which gave it a more elegant look. 65.10 is more like it. Boost his position in the running order. Now, sense of anticipation as Jack Law from Great Britain, not in the lead after the first round, but well in touch. He's got a reverse 2.5 somersault pint, 3.2. All that power. Didn't compete in the European Championships in 2017, here on comparatively home territory. Just those upper legs, the thighs, really give him a supercharged leap. Still a lot more to come from that. 65.60. Won't put him in the lead. His upper place though, Lorenzo Marsaglia from Italy has opened up a bit of a gap. 7 points, that's a good lead. James Heatley has come up into third, and Oliver Dingley strongly in contention there. And Paracic has slipped right down to the bottom after that disappointing round. Pretty tight though. There's only 4 points less than between 6th and a medal place. That's the first aim, get on that podium. Andrei Sheshutek is not out of it by any means. He can keep up his progress. Forward 3.5 somersault tucked is a 3.0 dive. He's got 3 3.0s and a 3.2 to finish with. So he's got the armoury there. His big dive is out the way, but so too is his low one. Just a little bit to the side there in his takeoff position. Didn't help, but he got 63 points. Keep a solid base and see if you can just produce a big one, really nail one to boost the score. 61.50, 66 so far for Oliver Dingley. Has reverse 1.5 somersault, 2.5 twists. This is 3.0. Now he seems to have really settled down after this morning. Decided to switch allegiance to Ireland after he missed out on selection for 2012. It was in London. It was a big blow for him, big competition, and he gets a more regular shout with the Irish Republic. 58.50, that's just dropped his standard a bit. Garcia from Spain, down in 10th, forward 2.5 somersault, a twist, in the pike position. Started off with that 2.3, which will always limit his scoring. This is 3.2. heavy into the water. 57.60. Sixes could be described as no more than satisfactory. Also out of the medal frame a little bit at the moment. Alexis Gendard has a back 2.5 somersault tucked. Third European Championships. He's always been on the edge of finals. Missed out last year at 10 metres by 1 place. So he scraped into the 2016 final. He finished 12th. Again, just could do with holding a better line all the way through his dive. 54. Now, Parajnik, who'd been having a good morning and a good start, he slipped up this previous dive. Forward 1.5 with 3 twists here. You can see that angle on the entry was less than perfect by some way. Just lost his focus a little bit. Confidence, momentum, rhythm, all those things really come into it big style. In getting a diver through the whole 6-dive program, he gets 51.15 there. Nikita Schleicher as well, not yet found his consistency with a 34-point disappointment in the previous round. 10 metres is more his range. Was silver in the synchro in these championships a year ago. 2.5 somersault tucked. Really looks a good diver when he gets it right. Still young, of course, at 20. 64.50 is better. James Heatley has started this competition well, which will please his local fans. He's got a back 2.5 somersault tucked. He's got the dives. He's got a 3-0, then a 3-3 and a 3-4. Can he perform them? Third place at the moment. Well, he's doing the most important bit. He's cutting out the major errors. Let the others fall off the pace. 61.50. Not massive, but it's consistent. If he can keep his marks at the least in the 60s, then he's really giving himself a chance, especially with a 3-4 to conclude. Renzo Marsaglia. He's at the top of the pile at the moment. Forward 2.5 somersault with a twist. Pikes, it's 3.2. His biggest dive. Good firm plant on the boards there for the takeoff. Good position, not too far forward, looking for the sweet spot. Working hard on his entry position as well. $67.20. That's more than solid score in this company. That's exactly the number that Giovanni Tocci crunched in the last round. He's got a 3-0 this time. It's the back 2.5 somersault tucked. It's a good height off the board.
6.5, 6.5, 6.5, 6.5, 7, 6.5, 6.5, 7.
6.5s there, 58.50. Guillaume Dutrois. Fifth at 1 metre. Sixth at 1 metre, sorry, last year's European Championships. And his second individual final, his fourth European Championships. Well, a decent job there. 69.30. It's lifted him well up the table. Jonathan Suko came into this one 9th. He's got a forward 3.5 somersault tucked. Seems to have found his form after that weak start. Right on the end of the board though for that takeoff, which never helps. Try and keep that tuck as tight as possible. 57. Quite as good as this morning. Jack Law, second and steady away, but he likes to lead from the front. He's got a reverse 1.5 somersault, 2.5 twists free. One of two 3.0 dives. Really ripples strength and power. See all those ultra-defined muscles in the legs working, holding that position. It's back into the 70s where he wants to be. He's got a competition here though. It's Lorenzo Marsaglia of Italy at the halfway stage, who's holding on to that lead and really diving well. Guillaume Dutrois of Switzerland up there, just edging ahead of James Heatley, back down into 4th. Rzeszutek from Poland then in 5th place. Certainly the bronze medal is up for grabs. Beginning to look as though gold might be a battle between Marsaglia and Law. So into the 4th round. Andrzej Rzeszutek of Poland is in 5th and can be pleased with his work so far. Can he push on and get up onto the podium? Back 2.5 somersault in the tucked position. No glaring errors there. Only is down in the 6s. 5.5 one judge gave him. It's 54 points, which is a drop. Oliver Dingley dropped back in the last round with a 58.50. Maybe not too late to raise a charge. He's down in 6th, but he's got to really produce his best with this inward 2.5 somersault piked. But it's a big 3.4. This is his chance to get among the big points. Well, he's given it the max there. 6.5, tight piked. Just a little bit hesitant maybe in that leap up. That's the impression he gave. 66.30. Decent, but not a belter. Nicola Garcia. Able 2.5 somersault tucked. 3-1. He's 11th, so he's just looking for some improvement. Got off to such a slow start with that 48.30. It's just a 2.3, but means he's got to really nail it to give himself a chance of getting into the top half of the table. Right on the edge of the board there, that takeoff. Trying to work the entry. 58.90.
Representing France, Alexis Gendard, reverse 2.5.
Alexis Gendard. Well, he's had 3 dives in the 50s. Still got a 2.6 to get away later. This is a reverse 2.5 somersault tucked. Benjamin Offray seems to be saying possibly on that entry when you could see the feet giving the water a big slap, just seemed to yaw a little bit off the board as well. 51. Pinko Paradzic. And a bit of a disaster, as they say, the second dive at 27. Reasonably back on the bike previous round. Now he's got a back 2.5 somersault tucked for the Swedish diver. He was trying to snap his legs into a good entry position, just there, get them upright right in the latter stages. You can continue to polish the dive up all the way through the entry. 52.50.
Representing Russian Federation, Nikita Schleicher, reverse 2.5 somersault split tuck.
Nikita Schleicher, reverse 2.5 somersault tucked. And the one suffering from a big dip in his second dive. Took off from the corner of the board there, right across to one side, which is not the most effective part of the board to use. You can see there his legs get planted, his feet at a slightly different angle. Just inhibits the rhythm. 63. Cue the James Heatley fan club. It's a 3-3 here for him. Forward 3.5 somersault pint. Another good chance if he's going to push back up into the medal positions. He's in 3rd place, the Edinburgh diver. He's making sure he doesn't completely blow one. Just a little more sparkle in them needed perhaps to get a big score, but the consistency of it so far is pretty impressive. Remember, it's a 3-3 degree of difficulty. He's down in the 6.65s. You need to be in the 7s. You still get 62.70. Lorenzo Marsaglia. In the lead, back 2.5 somersault tucked here. Just the finish of that dive was a bit untidy.
5, 4, 5.
You can see gave the water quite a smack just there. He brings his legs crashing down into it. Anxious wait, 43.50, turns away in comparative disgust, irritation, take your pick. Giovanni Tocci is 7th going into this round, reverse 2.5 somersault tucked. Second dive was a good one at 67 and dipped a bit into the mid-50s. He needs to get back up towards the 70 mark. Could have been finished off tidier. He's got 66 points there. Guillaume Dutoit, 3rd place. Back 2.5 somersaults tucked. Points for the marks, 63, 3 straight 7s.
Representing Switzerland,
Jonathan Suko, reverse 2.5 somersault tucked. He's slipped back down to 8th, heart in mouth. Reaching out, trying to extend the length of his entry. 55.50. So. Looking very calm. Big 3.4 dive for Jack Law here. Inward 2.5 somersault piked. He's chasing Massalia, who had a disappointing dive in this round, so the way is open for him. That combination of relaxation and power is a pretty potent one. It's well delivered. Oh, there's a couple of 8s. I thought they were an endangered species. 74.80 though, that is right at the top end of the scoring throughout today in this 1 metre event. And that plants Jack Law firmly at the top of the table with a massive lead suddenly opening up over Guillaume Dutoit. Suddenly got a 22 points on him. James Heatley up there, but Marsalia has slipped down to 4th, very tight with Dingley and Tocci, who could still snatch a place on the podium.
Representing Poland, Olivia Mazuta, reverse 2.5 somersaults with tuck.
Andrei Sheshutek, reverse 2.5 somersault tucked. It's just out of the medal contention. 26 years of age.
6.5, 7, 6.5, 6.5, 7, 7, 7.
61.50. He's not had any disasters either. A couple in the 50s, but he's been fairly solid. Now, Oliver Dingley has got himself going reasonably. The 58, which just keeps him out of the podium positions. Now he's got a forward 3.5 somersault point. 3-3 this one. He could make a charge here.
6.5, 7, 7.5, 6.5, 7, 7.5, 7.5.
And it's a well-timed 70-95. That's done him a power of good. He's on a charge. Nicolas Garcia. Good whistling from the Spanish coaching staff in appreciation of Garcia's effort. Another one who started very slowly. It's not been too bad since, but that's his best dive with 3.7.63. Alexis Gendard. That's a 2.6 dive to get away here. Reverse 1.5 somersault, 1.5 twists. Again, his takeoff was right on the angle. Got 3 meters still to go, but he'll be enjoying his place in a 1 meter final here. And the execution not bad with 7s, but it's only 54.60. Paragic slipped down the order. Reverse 2.5 somersault tucked. Just looked a bit resigned, his manner and his vibe that he gave off there going to that dive. Didn't really give the conviction that he was going to nail it. And his legs really smacked into the water there, spoiling any effect of the entry. And he's only got 39. Nikita Schleicher, forward 2.5 somersault with a twist, a 3.2. It's his biggest dive. He's down in 8th. Although the platform seems his more natural home, he has been a former World Junior champion at 3 meters in 2016. 54.40 though, that's not going to threaten anybody on the podium. Talking of which, penultimate dive for James Heatley, forward 2.5 somersault, 1 twist, pint 3.2, 3.4 still to go. He's been very steady and consistent and solid. If he can really pull out the stops on a dive, it would give him a lot more spare room. Well, the first priority is not to blow it, and to be fair to him, that's never looked likely without wishing to put the curse on him. He's been very solid. It's another well-executed dive, and 68.80 is consistency itself. He's locked in a bit of a battle with Oliver Dingley at the moment for the medal positions. Now Lorenzo Marsalia really spoiled his chances with his previous dive. Reverse 2.5 somersault tucked, far more impressively done. Has he done enough to get back into contention? Dropped down to 4th after leading.
6, 7, 7.5, 6.5.
And looks a solid response. Well, he's given himself a shout with 63, but he's depending on his rivals mainly to let their standards slip. Giovanni Tocci, meanwhile, in 6th. Reverse 3.5 somersault tucked. He launched himself off the springboard for that one. Looks as though he's very determined to go out guns blazing. Oh, that's nice. That's very nice. Even in that angle, the rotations were quick. Oh, that's excellent. 76.50. Our first 9s at last. Wow, what has that done to the whole apple cart? Oh, it's putting right at the top at the moment. That's really come as a bit of a shock, and it's going to give us a cracking last round. Just goes to show Dutoit. The reverse 2.5 somersault piked. He was 2nd, so it's really hotting up. What has he pulled out here? Starting to raise the standard, and being solid isn't looking enough now, maybe to get a medal. That was at the better end of solid, 67.20. Jonathan Suko, after an outstanding morning, is found coming back and reproducing that again in the afternoon, a different challenge. He's down in 9th, and he's got a reverse 1.5 somersault, 2.5 twists here. That's a cleaner delivered dive. It's that first one that really cost him. Slow start this morning with a 2.3 dive he's got there, but 66. Now Jack Law really nailed his previous dive. He's up there, 270s in a row. 4 3.5 somersault pike is a 3.3. This would really extend it out the front if he delivers. Thunders off the springboard. He's got a decent lead. He just needs to make sure there's no huge errors. That's not the greatest entry we've seen from Jack. Might have brought him back into the pack a little bit. 62.70. That's below his standards. That's his poorest so far, but still probably enough. Jack Law still has a significant lead, but it's all changed behind him. Tocci up into 2nd, Dutoit up into 3rd, Dingley in 4th, Heatley down to 5th, 3.22 to 3.26, the spread from 2 to 5th, and Marsalia is just hanging on there at 3.15. Everything to go for as we go into the final round. The 6th and final round of this men's 1 metre springboard final. Andrzej Szczeszutek of Poland with a reverse 2.5 somersault. Well, that was the intention. It totally looked like it when it came to delivering. That's a really disappointing end to his programme. been half decent all through it, but not the sign-off he wanted, 46.40. Frustration. Oliver Dingley has a 3.2 forward, 2.5 somersault with a twist. Pike, he's in that nightmare 4th position. Put himself into contention. 3.2, he knows he's got to nail this to give himself a chance of getting a big medal for Ireland. Maybe the entry could have been more medal-like. Right at the end of the board for the takeoff. And spoiled towards the end, certainly. 62.40. Okay, but okay might not be enough when it comes to a final. Nicola Garcia, down in 9th, ends up with a reverse 1.5 somersault with 2.5 twists. 3.0. He's got a low 2.3 dive, which keeps his early scores low. Well, if you can add a slightly higher tariff dive to his schedule, then he might just lift himself up the rankings there, because he's been solid enough in his execution. Well, he will have enjoyed being in a 1 metre final that he missed out on last time. 63 to finish. Alexis Gendard has a reverse 1.5 somersaults, 2.5 twists. He's in 11th. It's a decent sign-off. Well, he's not had a disaster either. Every dive in the 50s. And that's another one, 58.50, which probably suggests that's just about where he is in the world. But he has kept the disasters away. Couldn't quite say the same for Vinko from Sweden. He's down in 12th, mainly due to that second round nightmare. And his previous dive was pretty iffy too. Reverse 1.5 somersault, 2.5 twists for him to close. He came right off the board, sideways almost there. Very strange. Had a good morning. Competed yesterday. He's having a busy championships. Can only improve. 58.50. Nikita Schleicher maybe saving something for the 10 metres. Again, a big dip in the second round, a reverse 1.5 somersault, 2.5 twists to improve on his 10th place. Three bronze medals in 2016 here. Couple of synchro in the 10 metres. He's got some talent. Got 63 points there. Big moment for James Heatley of Great Britain and Edinburgh in particular. He's got a 3.4 inward, 2.5 somersaults piked. He's down in 5th place. And the podium is tantalisingly close. He has to really deliver a high quality dive here and see what the rest of them can do. Can he put the pressure on? Came off at a slight angle, but that's a big smile. He's certainly Did his best with the rest of it. Nice and tight in his pike position here, and the entry was not bad. Takeoff wasn't too bad, it just came off at an angle from the board there. Gives his fans a big wave, and a big 69.70 to finish. That will at least make sure it's interesting. Well, all his dives in the 60s. That's pretty steady Eddie. Lorenzo Marsalia. Down in 6th. Reverse 1.5 somersault, 2.5 twists. Free position to conclude a program that really looked promising until round 4. Left himself with too much to do. Wants to encourage him though, a 60 to finish. Giovanni Tocci in the silver medal position going into this dive. James Heatley's laid down a decent challenge to him. This is an inward 2.5 somersault tucked. It's 3.1. Fifth at 1 metre 12 months ago in these championships. Can he go a couple better at least? Well, that was nice. That will give the scoreboard a good shake. It's a good time to produce a very tidy dive indeed. Quick rotations and a good shape, and he knows he's delivered when it matters. 74.40, well done. That puts him ahead of Heatley, the top of the pile.
Representing Switzerland.
3 to go. Guillaume Dutoit in 3rd place, diving for a medal as well. Forward 2.5 somersault, 1 twist, pike position 3.2. Real chance here. He certainly avoided disaster, which is the first challenge. Has he done enough? Through the twists. Huge errors, all down to the scoring. He looks pretty pleased there. 65.60 behind Heatley and Tocci. And just out of that medal picture. So close though. Jonathan Suko down in 8th, an intruder rather in this medal fight. 4 2.5 somersaults, a twist, 3.2 for a nice sign-off, we hope. Well, Switzerland have had a good day. They've been right in the thick of it. Right at the front of that board for the takeoff there. It's got that 2.3 dive at the start, which is a hurdle if you got up the difficulty on that. 62.40. And here to take the gold, barring a catastrophe, you'd have thought, is an Olympic gold medalist in Jack Law, one of the big stars of the diving pool here and most places these days. 4 2.5 somersault, the twist piked, 3.2 for a gold. You can put the mortgage on that one, whatever the interest rates. Jack Law came here for one thing and one thing only, and that is gold. Little dip in the previous round, but his class has been evident right from this morning. 72 points. Go to the top of the class, Jack Law again. Giovanni Tocci looks delighted with his silver, and it's a second medal in the 1 meters for Great Britain, with James Heatley, the local hero, getting a bronze, but only just. Dutois 10 points clear of Heatley, 13.5 behind Jack Law, but that is an excellent show from the Italian, and it looks very popular as well. Really strong finish from the Italian with 2 big 76 and 74 dives. Biggest dive of the competition with that 5th dive. It was a stonker. This could get noisy. Well, dominated by one man, but the fight for the silver and bronze was really intense.
Accompanied by the Right Honourable and the Lord Provost of the City of Edinburgh, Frank Ross. Winner of the bronze medal, Great Britain, represented by James Heatley.
Well, you'd be hard pushed to find a bigger cheer in this whole week of diving than when James Heatley from the Edinburgh Club steps up onto that podium and gets that European bronze medal. A good year for him so far. A bronze at 1 meter in the European Championships to go with the same colour medal from the Commonwealth Games. Following in that family tradition of his famous grandfather, they'll be bursting with pride here in Edinburgh. Under pressure, and he delivered. A model of consistency in his programme.
Italy, represented by Giovanni Tocci.
Another delighted young man is Giovanni Tocci, a first European medal for him, and he produced 2 of the best dives of the whole competition. A storming finish to his programme as well. The 76.50, the dive of the day, and a 74.40 to make sure he got right on that podium, and boy is he pleased about it.
Winner of the gold medal and the 1 meter men's springboard European champion, Great Britain, represented by Jack Law.
First individual European Championship gold medal for Jack Law. The success keeps on coming for him. Double gold in the Commonwealth Games, and he really is the real deal. That winning habit, he has the task of taking on the big Chinese divers in the individual competition, and there looks a man who's up for the fight.
Ladies and gentlemen, the national anthem
1 meter champion is Jack Law. Well, if you live in these parts and you said, let's go to the diving on Tuesday afternoon, let's give that a go, you've had your 2 penn'orth. 2 versions of God Save the Queen, 2 British successes, and Edinburgh's finest there on the podium as well. Gold for Jack Law and Great Britain, silver for Giovanni Tocci in Italy, and bronze for Great Britain as well with James Heatley. Big smiles all round on the podium. A really good show here at the Royal Commonwealth Pool. Good to see the event starting to build momentum now. The first full day of diving, and it's gone well. Not just for those three, but also for the competition. Long, hard day for them. An early start,
Ladies and gentlemen, give it up one last
but
time for
worth it all.
European Championship events. And that does conclude day 2 of the diving here at the World Commonwealth Pool. And what a day it's been, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you to all of our officials for their participation in the event. Thank you also to our wonderful volunteers who did Team 2018. Without whom this event could not have happened. Thank you very much, fans, as well, for your energy and your spirit here. It's been absolutely electric, and we can't thank you enough. Guys, as you do leave, please don't forget your unwanted possessions. Please don't forget your children, and make your way over to the door. Have a wonderful rest of your day. Thank you very much. Finals, thank you so much for all your energy that you've shared with us throughout that. Let's keep it up for the medal ceremonies. Stay right where you are.